Hey guys, Mighty Gazelle here to talk about something that I don't get to talk about enough, and at least for a very long time now. My Hero Academia Vigilantes. Why am I talking about it? Well, there are numerous reports today from various supposed leakers on Twitter that they are nearly ready to announce that My Hero Academia Vigilantes, the main spin-off series to the main My Hero Academia, is getting an anime adaptation. Now, this is something I personally have thought was going to happen ever since this was even before this series ended. It makes too much sense. My Hero Academia is such a profitable franchise. The movies do really well, merchandise does really well. It was only a matter of time before this series got an anime adaptation, so I was never in doubt that it would happen. But not only are those rumors going around, but supposedly at Anime Expo on July 2nd, the rumor is that Bones is going to announce a new project. Now, they didn't in these rumors say what the project's going to be, but if you think about it, it all kind of lines up. Um, I didn't think that this would be adapted until the main series was done, at least the manga, but mainly the anime, because then after all that's wrapped up, they would move over to this. But no, it seems like this is coming relatively soon in the future. And the point of this video is just to sort of like say what to expect, for those of you who don't know what Vigilantes is. For those of you, for years I've been trying to tell people to read the series because it's really, really good. Adds a lot of lore to a lot of the characters and stuff. But a lot of people still are resistant and they don't want to read it, but hopefully they'll enjoy the anime. It's easier for people to watch a show than to read a book. I know. Um, but yeah, and this isn't going to be a spoiler video. This is just going to be sort of me kind of preparing people who don't know what Vigilantes is, what they can expect from this sort of anime series. So I'm not really sure how I'm going to do this, if I'm going to just ramble and put images up or whatever. Think of this as just like a long podcast with looking at this guy. If I sound a little bit, stuffy, it's because I'm getting over a cold. But this kind of like excites me to talk about, so I'm powering through it. I don't feel great, but I feel great in the sense that it's awesome we're getting this sort of news released. Um, so yeah. So the basic premise, I'll just be very, very brief. The basic premise of My Hero Academia Vigilantes is it takes place in the same world, obviously, as the main series. Like many of the characters you see in this appear here. I won't get into specifics because it's sort of spoiler territory, but let's just say if you have an obscure character that you like in this series, there's a good chance you're going to see a lot more of them in this one because this thrives on giving you more of those obscure characters, and that's one of the strengths. We'll get to that. But the main premise of Vigilantes is that in a world of heroes and villains, there's a very small number of people, and at this point, they even call it an endangered species. There are vigilantes who seek to do good, but they do it outside the confines of the law, meaning they don't get a license because when you're a licensed hero in My Hero Academia, the world, you have to abide by certain rules and restrictions. You have to do things by the book. Most of the time, there's some heroes who improvise and things because they're sort of their status and whatever, like Endeavor, All Might, they could probably get away with some things. But for the most part, heroes have to follow the law, Vigilantes, though, like, what if you can only save someone by methods of breaking the law or doing things not by the book? That's where a vigilante would come in. They don't care about the law or how things are supposed to be done. They just try to help people. Sometimes it's a little bit unorthodox or a little bit bullheaded, and it can lead to damages and destruction of property or maybe people getting hurt, but they do it for the greater good. They do it for whatever sense of justice they have in their hearts. And that's sort of what Vigilantes is all about. It's that gray area. It's sort of like what Nagant referred to, the gray area of the world isn't black and white, it's gray. This series is about the gray. And I can't put into words just how meaningful that is. In My Hero Academia, you get a grand scope. You get good versus evil. You get wide societal changes. You get Um, Large epic battles, and it's great. Like I love the series. It's my favorite manga series. But the thing that makes this so special is I'd say in this whole series, there's maybe only like two or so fights that would break like be breaking news on television and have the world watching, you know? Like most fights or incidents in this are sort of under the radar or like back alley scruffles or underground like fights, and things rarely sort of reach the public eye, but that makes it really intriguing. So to prepare people for what this series is, I just say like My Hero Academia is very fast paced. It follows Deku and his journey to become a hero, and it very much like it's boom, 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 boom. Like it's great storytelling and it's awesome, but it's very much like you can feel the speed of the story as it progresses. And on the flip side, and this might be a detriment to some people, I will straight up say that most like a lot of people might not vibe with this. There are times where Vigilantes feels very slow. It's the opposite. There's a lot of dialogue. There's people just chatting about things going on in their lives. It's very personal. There's just people being people and discussing things with each other. Not that they don't in the main series. You know what I mean? Like that there's concerts, there's things like just personal struggles that people are trying to overcome by just talking to people. Um, but that being said, there are a lot of fights mixed in too. There's various times that, well, I'll talk about the characters because I love them. That Koichi, knuckleduster, and Pop, they fight a villain, or they fight, you know, whoever. There's a lot of fights, so there's definitely a lot of action, but there are large swaths of time where it's like not necessarily anything crazy happening. So I know a lot of people get like I guess turned off by that. Like it's not really their cup of tea. But for me, with the main series being so full of action and large events, the one thing I always wanted from this main series was time to slow down, time to let these characters just shine and just be themselves. That's why I was always a fan of the festival arc. I like times where the characters can just bounce off each other and their personalities shine. Don't get me wrong, I love the war arcs and stuff. There's just some great like personal stories coming to fruition and fights, and it's hectic and awesome. But there are times like I wish we had more time before the war and various other things where just to really see their mindset of before they enter battle, or even after the war, like seeing how they cope with things that happened. So that's always been my only complaint with the main series is sometimes they need to slow down and let these awesome characters shine. And like I said, some people might find this too slow, but man, they take time to really flesh out the characters. Koichi, I'm just gonna say it, hot take coming in. I like Koichi more as a main character than Deku. I love Deku, but I vibe with Koichi more. His journey is so awesome. And again, I'm not going to spoil it. This is just sort of what to expect from the series. But the basic gist of it is, and this isn't really a spoiler, you find this out really early on in the story. He wants to be a hero. He's inspired by All Might, similar to Deku. But he has a power that most would seem not really suited to hero work. And basically, he didn't end up being a hero. He ended up kind of going to college and getting a normal job and stuff. But that didn't stop him from wanting to do good. So he'll go out on his own, and he has a little persona called the Crawler, and he fights crime in the streets. He like not just fights crime. He does little things too. Like he'll help a lady cross the street, or he'll like maybe if this guy's robbing a bank, he'll just stick out his foot and trip him, help the officer. You know, some little things. But and then Knuckleduster enters the picture, who is top three My Hero Academia characters all time for me. If you include all this like the series that My Hero under the umbrella of My Hero Academia, he is top three, no question. He's right there with Bakugo and All Might. Um, I cosplayed as him. If I'm able to edit it in, I'll show you a picture. I cosplayed as Knuckleduster. I think he's great. Oguro. He's so fun. He is the Batman of My Hero Academia, and again, I'm not going to dive into spoilers, but just he's great. He's a mentor for Koichi. And then, yeah, Pop, who on the back is a very glamorous shot of her. That doesn't really do her justice, but it's, people checking out manga are like, oh man, this is the series for me. Boy, woo! It's something like that. But Pop is great. That is not a great representation of what she eventually becomes and things. But early on, yeah, that's kind of her. But yeah, man, like so many people read this series just because they want to hear the Aizawa backstory, which is great. Don't get me wrong, and I really kind of think that should have been in the main series, but it found its way in to Vigilantes, and it kind of makes sense because, I mean, let's just say a lot of characters from the main series make appearances here. Originally, it was here's a little fun fact. Originally, who's the creator? The story's by Hideyuki Furuhashi. Sorry if I butchered that. Originally, Horikoshi said, "Hey, you can use as many of the main heroes as you want. Include them in the story. This is a canon story, by the way, in correlation with the main series. And you can use as many of the heroes as you want, but just don't use Shigaraki or the villains, because I have plans for them, and I don't want to get things muddled, and So very early on, you get a lot of the mainstay heroes as cameos, and they slowly integrate their way into the story in various ways. But the fascinating part is, like, as you go, and again, I'm not going to spoil events or anything like that. You get villains in this. Like, you get a lot, and not only villains, but you get some certain side villains, like origins in this. You get to see what they were like before, how they were in the main series. It's so fascinating. This thing. I love Vigilantes mainly for the fact that it takes a look at this world that you don't see in the main series. It's the streets. It's the spotlight characters before they were in the spotlight. It's so much world building, and I just adore it so much. And like as a little tease, if you like All for One, if you want more All for One, he's in this a lot. Like not. This isn't like a spoiler. He kind of appears at least like a third of the way or a fourth of the way in. He's in this like a good amount. You see a lot of All for One, and amongst other things that he's doing. You get to see All Might, a lot of All Might in this. Tsukauchi, Tsukauchi's family. Yeah, he has a family, and his sister is very cool. There's a unique character to this. Captain Celebrity is in this. He's a great character. I could go on and on. I'm not going to make this video too long. I just want to say that I cannot wait for this to be adapted into an anime. And there's just so much that this series could show the world through anime that I don't think really, for whatever reason, people gave a chance on the manga. I don't think the manga did bad. I think it clearly did well enough to go to volume like 15 or whatever. I think there's like 140 chapters or so. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm assuming at Anime Expo we'll get an official confirmation. So this whole video could be moot. These rumors could lead to nothing. But as someone who's expected this to get an anime for a long time now, and now everyone's sort of sharing this leak rumor, and we're set up to have an announcement from Bones at Anime Expo, it all sort of lines up. And yeah, I can't wait. And of course, I don't know. I'm just beginning my voice acting career, but like, it'd be great if I could at least audition for. No, this is like a dream of mine. Just ignore this. But like, I've always dreamed of voicing knuckleduster. But I think he's probably out of the question. He's too mainstream. He's too like the main character. Captain Celebrity would be something I'd like to do. Captain Celebrity, just like a deep ha ha ha. That'd be fun. I think it'd be a lot of fun. But that's a dream. If I ever gotten a chance to do that, that'd be great. But at the very least, I'll be reacting to this series. You bet your ass on YouTube. I can't wait. There are some elements of this I like more than the main series. But there's things about the main series I like more than this too. So they're both great. I think they're like, obviously this is the one that gets all the hype, but I think this is such a great compliment to fill in this world. So yeah, thanks for listening to my rambles, and just want to put this PSA out there that, yeah, there's probably an anime coming for Vigilantes. I'm very excited, and I think that if you haven't given the manga a chance, you should A, either give it a chance, or B, just be excited for the anime. Because I think, and I'm pretty sure it'll be Studio Bones doing it again. I really hope it's the Mob Team. That would be so good. Oh my god. If it's the Mob Team, because it won't take that long. I think if depending on how they break this down, you could probably do this whole series in about 3 seasons, depending on how many episodes they do. Let's say the first season they did it in 13 or 12 or whatever the standard first one is. And then you have a season 2 that's like 24 and a season 3 that's 24. I think you could probably just do the whole series like that. Like 1 half season and then 2 full ones. I think that'd be enough. That'd be probably perfect, actually. So yeah, that's all I gotta say. I don't know how many people are gonna watch this. I just want to share my thoughts because it's pretty cool. So hope you guys enjoyed, and until next time, it's been Mighty Gazelle, hoping you all have a mighty day. See you guys.